Hello everyone! 2 days ago we reached 100 subscribers, and to celebrate this I came up with a pretty cool idea for a video. Today we're going to look at a game between Ayanokoji and Sakayanagi. At first, the ones actually playing chess are Horikita and Hoshimoto. Horikita with the white pieces, Hoshimoto with the black pieces. But later on, both sides will be taken over by Ayanokoji and Sakayanagi. More on that in a moment. For now, let me briefly talk about the playing strength of the initial players. Horikita learned how to play just a week ago. Hoshimoto learned a couple of months ago. As for Ayanokoji and Sakayanagi, those two are basically supposed to play like grandmasters.
Before we continue, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment. Horikita starts the game with b3, followed by c5, bishop b2, d5, and d3. We don't see a few of the moves, and when the position appears on the screen again, it looks like this. Everything seems fine, but the bishop could not have arrived on b5 in this sequence. The move d3 was clearly a movie mistake. Most likely the actual moves were e3, knight c6, bishop b5, and then the players continued calmly developing bishop d6. And that is where the real 7th move d3 should be.
After that, using the moves shown on the screen, we can reconstruct the following sequence. Castling, knight d2, preparing to push the pawn to e4, rook e8, and then the previously mentioned e4. Congratulations! We've arrived at the exact position shown on the screen, and up to this point, there are no mistakes at all. Next, right before our eyes, the moves e5 follow, stopping the white pawn from advancing with a fork. E takes d5, knight takes, knight e4, and the bishop retreats to b8. It looks as if black blundered a pawn, but the computer says that taking it gives white absolutely nothing. Then comes queen b6, attacking two pieces at once. d4, queen b5, c4 with a fork against the queen and the knight. The queen steps back, and we get c takes d5, knight takes, 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 and then takes again.
White has an extra pawn, but black has the power of the two bishops, so the position is equal. In the game, instead of capturing the pawn, knight g3 was played. Bishop d7 follows, then queen e2, which is the first serious mistake of the game. Right now, black could have played knight d4 with devastating force, a double attack, a direct attack on the queen, and a discovered attack on the bishop. And if the knight takes on d4, seemingly defending the bishop as well, then pawn takes d4 with a discovered attack on the queen by the rook. However, that move wasn't played. Black went knight f4, and the queen retreated.
At this point, control of the black pieces is taken over by Sakayanagi. Queen b6, not the strongest move according to Stockfish, but definitely a decent one. A trade of the bishop for the knight follows. White gives the opponent the advantage of the two bishops, and this bishop is also aiming rather dangerously toward the king side, potentially creating serious attacking threats in the future. Queen d1, white reinforces the knight so that if it gets captured by the bishop, they avoid doubled pawns and keep their structure intact. Black brings the bishop closer to the center, and here white makes another mistake. The knight on e2 wants to trade knights, but allows black to ruin their pawn structure. Knight d5, a pretty pointless move. White responds with an equally pointless retreat back to g3. Black develops a rook, and white starts to drift, while Sakayanagi plays h6. Ayanokoji enters the game. He's supposed to beat Magnus at the very least, without even trying. And just look at what Stockfish shows us. Some unknown number of moves passes off screen. I counted black made about 8 moves, while white made only 1. We reached this position and it's white to move. Black has both a rook and a bishop hanging. To win, white should have taken the rook and been satisfied with an extra exchange, because a rook is far more dangerous than it may seem at first glance. But Ayanokoji got greedy. Instead of taking the rook, he captured the bishop and walked straight into Sakayanagi's trap. Rook takes e7. She sacrifices a rook. White accepts the gift, and then another sacrifice crashes down on them, this time from the strongest piece on the board. Queen takes f3. There's an immediate mate threat. Queen takes g2, and that square can't be defended. It seems there is simply no way to stop it. In the game, White took the queen, but that's exactly what Sakayanagi wanted, exactly what she was playing for, because it leads to mate in 2. You can pause the video and find it. Rook g6 plus, the king has only one square, and then bishop takes f3. Checkmate.
The game ended right after the rook check. Ayanokoji ran out of time. But in the score, his move was changed to a queen capture. He found an interesting sacrifice. Try to find that move yourself.
Queen g5. The thing is, if they take the queen, a pawn blocks the g-file. White can calmly capture black's queen, and white wins. They end up a whole extra piece. And black cannot ignore the white queen because black is also facing mate. They could, of course, interpose a pawn, but that leads to an exchange of queens, and then white is up in exchange, an extra rook. It looks like rook g6 might work. It seems to both stop mate and increase pressure on g2, but that's only an illusion. White simply captures the rook, and after the same queen exchange, white has a decisive advantage. Queen g5 is truly a phenomenal move. Although it seems you only need to calculate 2 moves ahead, finding the very idea of shielding the g-file with a pawn and doing it almost instantly with only seconds on the clock is genuinely brilliant. But finally, I must point out one more rather unpleasant detail.
The point is that Sakayanagi could have delivered mate or won the queen in 2 moves. Without flashy stuff, simply playing bishop f3 threatens mate. And if white replies g3, then queen h3. And there is no adequate defense against mate except by sacrificing the queen.
And that's where we'll wrap up today's breakdown. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to support the channel with a like, a comment, and a subscription. It really helps a lot. We've got plenty more exciting analyses and unexpected games coming up, so don't miss the next episodes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.